Hey guys, Zewey here. I've made a new deck based on this little guy right here, Phantom of Chaos. It's kind of stealing from a few different areas. It's already a popular deck over in Japan, kind of like nitpicking from different areas of stuff that I like to make one central theme. My build is going to be using Skyscourge Norless, Destiny Hero Malicious, and Plague Spreader Zombie for a lot of advantage, and basically putting together a level 8 synchro of your choice versus your opponent's top decks. I'll go into more depth of the monsters, magics, traps, combos of the deck, and then a deck overview. I hope you like the deck. It's a little bit pricey, but if you got the cards, you might as well give it a try. Without a further ado, here we go to monsters. Hey guys, here's the monster lineup from my Phantom of Chaos deck. Basically what we got here is Phantom of Chaos, Skyscourge Norless, Malicious, Plague Spreader, Mystic Tomato, Gandora the Dragon of Destruction, Stratos, Dark Gruffer, Armageddon Knight, Plasma, Diamond Dude. As a whole, the deck is not, it's on the expensive side, but it's not godly expensive as far as the monster lineup goes. Your price cards are really going to be your Malicious, your Plague Spreader is not even that bad, and your Stratos. Everything else is pretty much down when it comes to price. The purpose of the deck is using Mystic Tomatoes, Armageddon Knights, Dark Gruffers, and then pretty much the trade-in allure Destiny Draw engine to mill through your deck until you have a Skyscourge Norless, Destiny Hero Malicious, and Plague Spreader in your graveyard. Now obviously, them being dark, you got a lot of options to choose here, and if you don't get the OTK, which I'll explain in a second, your Plague Spreader, Malicious, plus just generally good monsters should get you through the game. The main combo is using this little bad boy though, Phantom of Chaos. If you copy his Norless' effect with him, then you pay the 1,000, it nukes everything. Once you've done that, you draw one card. Once you've drawn that one card, you decide whether you like that versus you don't like it. I'll explain a little bit more on that later once we go into more of the combos. But then you proceed to put that card on the top of your deck and bring out a level 8 synchro with your Malicious and your Plague Spreader versus your opponent's top decks. Usually, if you pick right, the level 8 synchro will win you the game. If not, it'll defend you long enough until you can draw in your materials to then OTK your opponent again for free damage. It's a very skilled deck that you have to think through each move and what you're going to send through first. Let's examine the magic lineup and then the trap lineup, and then I'll show you some of the combos in the deck. Okay guys, here's the spell lineup. We got 2 Foolish Burial, 2 Dark Eruption, 2 Warrior Returning Alive, 2 Allure of Darkness, 1 Destiny Draw, 2 Trade-In, 1 Reinforcements of the Army, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Heavy Storm. Admittedly, this deck is supposed to be actually running 2 Plasma and a few other little tweaks, maybe another Greffer. But I built this on a budget and mostly from stuff I already had, so it's missing a few stuff. Mostly another D-Draw, Plasma, and another Trade-In to make the draw engine complete. But this is okay. This is semi-expensive, not quite as bad as the monster lineup. Your big cards here are going to be the Allure of Darkness because of Blackwing's popularity, and Allure seems to just be generic draw equals good. In your Destiny draws, even though Malicious is only at 2, seems to stay at the $20 price range, maybe a little bit lower now. Dark Eruptions are also shaky in price. Basically what this allows you to do is facilitate your turbo engine. The big parts of these are your Foolish Burials, your Dark Eruptions, and your Warrior Returning Lives, combined with your Allures, your Destiny Drop, and your Trade-ins. The Foolish Burials allow you to mill any monster in your deck, which gets you closer to your Malicious, Plague Spreader, or New Orleans win condition. It's by far better than Greffer is situational, better than Armageddon because it's free and it's quick, and also it's a nice hit with Diamond Dude every once in a while. Dark Eruptions and your Warrior Returning Lives reuse your Armageddon Knights, your Mystic Tomatoes. Dark Eruption is a target for nearly every card in your deck, which means that if you dump something, you're usually going to be able to pick it back out for one of these cards if you need a draw fodder card. The Warrior Returning Alive, some people would argue that you should use 3 Dark Eruption and then maybe scrap the Warrior Returning Alive. I like the Warrior Returning Alive because it can be used for anything. That means that if you have a Plasma in your grave and a Warrior Returning in your live, you automatically are going to get your fodder for any 3 of these draw cards once you draw into them. That's really good in my book. That's why I tend to stay away from the 3 Dark Eruptions. The reinforcements of the army are here for the pick out of Stratos, Armageddon Knight, or Greffer, depending on the situation. Monster Reborn, obviously, to just reuse and abuse your monsters, and Heavy Storm is just a wipe away card. As a whole, this is not one of those power magic lineups that's going to win you the game. It, however, is going to facilitate you in your early game to get you to your final mark, which is that level 8 Synchro versus top decks. Next, we're going to look at the trap lineup, and then we'll proceed to combos. Okay guys, final set. We got our traps. 3 Solemn Judgment, 3 Threatening Roar, 1 Torrential Tribute, 1 Mirror Force. As a whole, very expensive, mostly because of the 3 Solemn Judgments. Everything else you should already have as a staple. Again, seemingly small, but once you get to your end game and bring out that level 8 Synchro versus top decks, these are god cards in the end game. Solemn Judgment top on your draw for New Orleans usually means game against your opponent. Torrential, Mirror Force stop their one. If they get an out to your level Synchro, it stops them. The Threatening Roars here are here for the end game in case you need to protect that one Phantom of Chaos to win you the game, or are here for the early game when you might need to protect one monster and stall for that one turn to pull off the OTK. As a whole, this is probably the most powerful part of the deck. Okay guys, we're now going to move on to combos. Okay guys, I set up here a little ideal situation for showing you off the main combo of the deck. Then we'll go on to alternative combos before I do a final wrap up. So as you see, we got our Phantom of Chaos on the field, and in our graveyard we have our 3 win conditions: our Norlis, our Destiny Hero Malicious, and our Plague Spreader. We're going to activate Phantom of Chaos's effect, removing our New Orleans. After we activate, we're paying 1,000 to nuke everything. So now the hand, the field are gone for both you and your opponent. Once this happens, you get to draw a card. We've drawn into Solemn Judgment. If you draw a card that's going to help you win the game now that your opponent's in top decks, you want to go in here and use your Malicious first. That way we don't put our card on the top of the deck to shovel it into the deck. We then bring out our Malicious, put the Solemn Judgment on top. That way we're assured a good draw next turn, after we then bring out our Plague Spreader and Synchro into a level 8. So now we have either Stardust, Colossal Fighter, or Thought Ruler Archfiend, or even Red Fiend if we need it to help us win the game, with the next card being an instant out to any card in their deck. I'm going to go on to some alternative combos now.